Thank you so much to the Sunlight Foundation. Thank you to everyone. Oh my goodness, this is really a crowd. Wow. Thank you everyone for coming and participating. I can't believe that I'm following up Martha with my little project, so I'm terribly honored. But I'm happy to be here, so let's get started. When in 1978, a judge sought to close proceedings in this historic county courthouse, Richmond newspapers challenged the state of Virginia, arguing that public access to the courts was a fundamental tenet of democracy guaranteed by the First Amendment. Yeah, that courthouse. And they argued that, and the Supreme Court agreed. So today, the way that we access our courts is through electronic records. And the courts offer electronic records through the PACER website, which charges for search results, docket lists, and documents. While 10 cents per page might not sound like much, it's easy to rack up a huge bill. Plus, how much would you use Google if you had to submit your credit card every time you wanted to search? PACER is making a killing with $120 million in revenue for 2012. Even with a highly inefficient system architecture, they only managed to spend about $20 million on PACER expenses per year. Where does the rest of the money go? They spend it on other stuff. This is illegal. In 1992, Congress passed a law saying that the courts could charge only to recoup expenses. This makes some important democratic activities impossible. For example, the Center for Investigative Reporting would like to research judicial misconduct using big data style analytics. I worked with Harlan Yu, Tim Lee, and others to build a Recap, a Firefox extension that allows you to liberate any documents that you purchase from PACER. And as you browse PACER, if there's a document that's already been liberated, it lets you download that for free. These liberated documents are placed on the Internet Archive, and we also create a machine-readable XML version of each docket. But we also need to change the PACER fee policy itself. Open PACER is a draft bill that once and for all mandates that the courts provide free access to our public record. The bill is open for comment at openpacer.org. It's written in GPO-compliant legislative XML, which anyone can edit and submit for incorporation via GitHub. I've been advocating for introduction of this bill and encouraging the Administrative Office of the U.S. Courts to voluntarily do the right thing. Unfortunately, they won't even take a meeting with me. This highlights the difficulty with doing transparency work related to the courts. The laudable independence of the third branch can get in the way of accountability. In the meantime, we've been working to extend the effect of Recap. We offered small grants in memory of Aaron Swartz to be awarded to people who extend Recap's functionality. Aaron was instrumental in early work on freeing PACER, and I gave a version of this talk where I talked about his legacy at another Sunlight Foundation event, which is on YouTube. Ping created a Chrome version of Recap, which dramatically expands the community of recappers, and he donated his award back to GiveWell, Aaron Swartz's charity of choice. Then 2 Italian programmers heard about the grants via Hacker News. Filippo is a high school student, and Alessio is a PhD student. They added to the Firefox extension support for US Circuit Courts, which previously had been unavailable. More work remains to be done on this stuff, so check it out at recapthelaw.org. You can go to our GitHub archive. I also want to celebrate the recent victory to liberate the DC Municipal Code that many of the folks in the room deserve credit for. Tom McWright really helped to get it going. This is my copy of the code that I printed out that Carl Malama digitized. I took a photo of it and invited the DC Council to sue me, which unfortunately they didn't do, or fortunately. Behind the scenes, Josh Taubrer was working to get the folks at DC Council to get the rest of the code released under CC0, and I believe that no public policy campaign is complete without a veiled reference to hip-hop music. PACER fees, unfortunately, and the PACER style is spreading to state courts as well. Mississippi is charging twice what the federal courts are charging. North Carolina is trying to figure it out, and other states are struggling as well. So it's important that we get it right at the state level, and that all of you go out and make these same arguments at the state courts and local courts. So thank you very much.